My boyfriend found my secret blog when I forgot to clear out my history on my laptop, and he's been mocking me for it. I told him to leave. He looked at me puzzled and said he was kidding, but I kicked him out. When we met, he was angry. I'm a writer. A serious one. I've got my first book published and a few poems that made their way into the local paper, and I make a living from it. I also have a very secret blog where I publish fan fiction under a pseudonym. When people hear fan fiction, they picture an obsessed fangirl filling pages with original characters who are all in love with an idealized version of the author. That's not me. I write because I love exploring characters and the universes they live in. If I'm reading a book, playing a game, or watching a movie, sometimes I think, what if, and I write it out. It's been my private thing for a long time. I didn't always write in English. I started learning it when I was 9 because there were no fan fictions in my native language for the fandom I loved. Learning English opened a door. It taught me how much I love writing. It helped me get a job when I had little experience, and it let me speak and write fluently. I owe a lot of who I am to practicing through fan fiction, so it means a lot to me. That's why it hurt so much when the person I loved reacted the way he did. My boyfriend found my blog because I forgot to clear my browser history. It wasn't that he was snooping, it was the habit I'd carried from childhood, clear the history or get caught using the family computer. This time I'd left it open and it came up in the search bar. He read some of my stories and started mocking me. At first I took it as a joke. I can take teasing if it's lighthearted, but his teasing didn't stop at jokes. He laughed and called me a Tumblr girl, read parts aloud to make fun of them, and nitpicked my writing. It stopped being teasing and became cruel. When he came over one day while I was working on something for the local paper, he said, "Writing your weird smut fanfiction, fangirl?" He meant it as a joke, but I was already on edge. I told him to leave. He said he was kidding, puzzled, but I kicked him out. Later, when I tried to explain how much fanfiction had shaped my life, how it taught me English and gave me confidence as a writer, he dismissed me. For a few days, we didn't talk properly about it. He kept going back to the mockery until finally I insisted that we talk. When we met, he was angry that I had kicked him out and incredulous that I was upset over nothing. I told him how hurtful his behavior had been. He snorted and minimized it. After a push, he admitted something I hadn't expected. He didn't feel comfortable with me writing sex scenes. This revelation came out of nowhere. He'd praised a sex scene in my book before, so I asked why it bothered him now. He said he hadn't thought about the consequences when it was a book, but when he read my blog, he could see the reblogs and comments and the attention it got, and that made him uncomfortable because I was his girlfriend. In his words, he was worried that people would take the explicit writing as a sign that I was easy, that I like sex like a sad stoat. He tried to backpedal, saying he didn't mean it like that, but the damage was done. I asked him if I gave him the wrong idea when we had sex together. He shut up. I think he finally realized how wrong and hurtful his assumptions were, and he began apologizing. But the apology didn't undo the contempt I'd felt when he laughed at me, and when he suggested my sexuality made me less worthy. He tried to make it simple, never write about sex again, as if censoring an essential part of my craft in my life would fix his insecurity. I couldn't accept that. I like sex, I like writing about it, and my writing is how I pay my bills. Asking me to stop was asking me to be someone else, so I ended the relationship. I changed my blog's URL and told him not to come to my house. He's been calling and texting nonstop, apologizing, begging, but I can't look at him the same way. Maybe I'll forgive him someday, but the trust is broken. His cruel mockery and the ugly things he said about my sexuality are not something I can forget easily. Part of me is heartbroken because this came out of nowhere. He'd never acted like this before, and it shocked me that such vindictive behavior could come from someone I loved. I'm glad, in a strange way, that it happened now. It revealed a side of him I needed to see. I refuse to be ashamed of what brings me joy. Writing fanfiction taught me English, saved me when I was inexperienced, and helped make me the writer I am today. People can laugh or call it silly all they want, but I won't stop doing something that matters to me. I still feel hurt, and I'm still processing, but I'm not apologizing for my work or for who I am.